Okay.
We're
now
back.
We should be live.
We're back.
I just had to watch a commercial.
Yes.
I'm telling my kids that I'm on now.
All right. It's I am going to.
Yeah, we're on. So.
I just retweeted that. How's everybody doing?
Hello.
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 Are you back in LA or are you still in Vegas?
Oh, I'm back in LA. That was only for a few days. Wish it was in Vegas, but they put us up in a nice room.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
I can imagine.
Oh, they're so cheap now. They're begging people to come and stay. It's kind of like a ghost town, but I haven't been there in a while, so I just forget how lively it used to be.
Well, now would be the perfect time to film one of these movies in Vegas where like the end of the world or the apocalypse, right? They wouldn't have to close too much.
So are you kicking us off, Sean? Are you kicking us off, Sean?
Yes, I will. There's nobody in chat, it looks like, which is okay.
There's 5 people watching though. All 5 of us.
Yeah. So notifications just went out.
There should be soon. I'm looking at someone who's watching us right now.
Okay, yes. Cool.
Smuggler's Canyon just joined. So
all right. So we'll say hello to Salacious Rum in the chat. But yeah, we have a legend in the house. Imperial Communique. How do you say that?
Communique. Like old-timey communication.
Yes. So normally we just say hello to everybody in the chat. We got Tom Tunes in the chat. We've got Dandy 1981 in the chat, who's a legend. He says, "What's up?" and a monkey lizard. We've got Paul's Collectibles in the house. Definitely, I got my merman he sent me the other day. I'll be showing that off in today's video. We've got Oakhurst Studios in the house. Legend right there. So
hide in both places.
We got John the Joker.
John Joker.
We're gonna need some moderators to post some links. So who are we gonna? We got Josh Wayland.
You need to do that in YouTube Studio beforehand, Sean. So maybe for next time.
Okay. I think I can do it here.
Josh is in. Blue Harvest. Hey, Mark.
Hey,
Mark.
John Joker. Gary Moore.
Congratulations on
Red
1,000.
Ranger Chris. Yep.
We got John the Joker.
Yeah, Red Ranger Chris. Big shout out to him. He's always very, very kind to me on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a legend on Twitter. Yeah, he helps everyone out. He's a good guy.
Great guy.
He probably be geeked out to know. Red Ranger Chris would probably be geeked out to know that I worked on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the day.
No way.
Did you really?
That's awesome.
So did you know?
We got to print this Ewok.
I think his name's Paul Schreier.
Oh, dude, I see him at Comic-Con every year. Him, and the other guy. I ended up working with him. They were great. I loved. Personally, I loved hanging out with them offset, and then I got to know both of them years afterwards.
Cool.
They're just great people, and they are Shakespearean actors. I went to see both of them perform. Yeah. They're talented at the wazoo.
He went to Pierce College or something, where they would do. I think they did. That's what he did. But he used to work at Six Flags Magic Mountain when I was there, and he hosted the U.S. high diving show that was out at the little pool that they had.
Huh.
And it was fantastic when he was there.
Yeah, I can't say enough about those guys. They're sweet.
Okay, so we pretty much said hello to everybody. I'm going to go ahead and let Rum do the introductions because he's obviously the mastermind behind this whole show. So.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
Yeah. Just drop it on your lap.
No pressure.
So basically, Mr. Imperial, that's Sean's way of saying I will host, but on my hosting duties, I'll pass on the duties to you without letting you know in advance. So thanks a lot. So
I thought it was a team effort, guys.
Yeah, I know, and I haven't got banners because we're on Sean's platform. So, but for those that are listening to us on podcast, thanks for joining. 3 men and a monkey lizard. This is your home for light-hearted TV, movie, and toy entertainments. So, in the house today we have Sean Solo 8, YouTube's finest. Say hello to everyone, Sean.
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for checking us out tonight.
And we have the Hulk Smash himself, all the way from Oka Studios. It's Haven.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to our channel, Anthony, or the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm very flattered.
And of course, it's the dude himself. I think he's with us. He is with us. Say hello to everyone, dude.
Hello to everyone, dude.
And
thank you for hanging out with this poop show tonight, Anthony. We're glad to have you.
I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of some adequate words. I would have prepared something in advance, but I think it's fair to say I think most of us in the chat would agree with this. That Anthony, you are, as far as in the collecting world, I think you're YouTube royalty. Your channel is one of the channels that everyone looks up to. You don't post as many videos as we all want. We always bang on to you about can you post more, but the videos that you do post are on that top echelon, that top quality of toy videos that we like, and we are really honoured that you agreed to come on our show tonight. So thank you very much. You're very welcome with the 3 men and a monkey lizard.
Oh, well, again, thanks for having me, and that's over flattery. I don't see my videos that way, but I appreciate that I'm getting the huge support that I do get. I wish I could post more, but I'm just busy, and these things do take a lot of time to do.
For sure, and you spend a lot of time doing a lot of stop motion animation, and you put a lot of thought and a lot of creativity into your videos. So I think we need to. There's some questions that I know everyone wants to ask. So I'll start off the first question if it's all right, guys.
Hi, Kat.
Quite interested in your background, Mr. Imperial, and how you got into Star Wars. So there's a 2-pronged question I've got for you. How did you get into Star Wars? And that's probably a more common answer. But how did you then get into YouTube? So there's a 2-pronged element. So
Well, I mean, look, I'm old enough to have seen the original Star Wars at the drive-in. I think it was probably the summer of '77. I was 6 years old, and just who wasn't that age and just blown away by it. My neighbor 2 doors down, he his parents got him some of the toys, and I was over there. I'm like, oh my God, these are so cool, and begged my parents. And then, what was he? They came out in '78, and Christmas, I got the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon the same Christmas. It's still the best Christmas ever.
Yeah, absolutely. That
sounds
awesome.
Amazing.
But
Sean, can you maximize him while he's talking to us?
Yeah,
please,
just give me one second.
no.
Oh, you don't
I
want
don't want to kick him out.
No,
on
I
accident,
can't.
Maybe it'll be me.
There we go.
It's almost always Vern.
Or the 3/4, Sean, so that you can. So we're all. Poor old Anthony. Go on.
Let's see if I know how to do that.
But what else? Doing the YouTube thing?
Yeah.
I decided to build the army a while ago. It was a weird thing. There is a store in Santa Monica called Puzzle Zoo, And I still remember going in there when I had first moved to California, and I was chit-chatting with the guy because they had some Star Wars toys, and some guy was selling his complete loose collection for $1,700. I mean, or at least the figures, all 96 figures for like $1,700. And I was like, oh man, I wish I could buy these because they're in great condition. The irony is I actually ended up working for that guy who was selling that collection for a year or two. But I got into a conversation about the guy in the collection, and I was saying, oh yeah, I saw this story about a guy who had like 20 Stormtroopers and it was wild and all that. And he casually goes, oh, when I was a kid, I had 100. And I'm like, oh, wow. So once, then I'm like, oh, once the VOTC version came out, I'm like, I can do 100 of these. And then pretty soon 100 became 200 and 500. And then I was organizing and, I'm like, why don't I make an entire battalion? So, it grew to be 1,000 pieces. So I had them sitting there and I'm like, well, nobody's seeing these. I put up on Rebel Scum. I had made a photo folder with a couple hundred pictures, but still it doesn't do it justice. So I was like, why don't I time lapse it setting up? We'll see how it does. So it's a crazy story and how that ended up happening. I confiscated my roommate's room, took all of his furniture out, put it up a table, and did the time lapse, and it took about a week to get it done. So, and then that sat there for a couple of years, getting some views, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, I'm bored. I may as well try to do a little something else.
Yeah.
So that's the simplified version.
Because
I wonder how
watching your videos.
I wonder how many YouTube channels started during COVID.
Yeah, well, that's the
I know
thing.
mine did.
Well, yeah, no, I know Mark. I think Mark and I started about the same time. Blue Harvest Vintage. There's a bunch of us that I think started March, April about that time, and a lot of you guys are my friends now. I consider you guys. Yeah, you guys are all good dudes.
Yeah. What about everybody? Because I think I started mine in May, and it was due to just COVID and wanting something to do, and then just connecting with the community. What about you guys? Were you all COVID YouTubers too?
I think. I think.
Mine was just.
I had my channel for cool. Yeah, I had a channel for a really long time, and when my kids were smaller, I was trying to show them how to do stop motion. So we were making these 12-inch G.I. Joe movies. And then it's like they lost interest because it was just way too much work to put a film together, right? Like, you
oh my God, dude, yeah.
Camera and take just hundreds of pictures. And then back then it was, I was using Movie Maker. So it was like you had to put every picture in individually. Then if you wanted to do any Photoshop on each picture, like if you wanted like a flashbang or something. It's not like today where you just got special effects built in, and it just kind of like died out and then didn't do anything for a long time. But I think I did put some stuff up around Comic-Con for a few years.
You go to Comic-Con?
Just showing off usually every year.
Okay, we're getting together next Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fantastic. I already got my tickets. I carried them over from the previous year, so I'm good to go. But
hey, can I just really quick give a shout out to John the Joker for that $20 super chat?
Oh,
Definitely appreciate that.
That was amazing.
Man. That's the first one I've ever gotten in my life, so that's a pretty cool feeling.
You should read that out for John if he's giving you a super chat. What did he say?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and read that. You're the man. You're the voice. It says, thank guys for doing these live. He says, you guys are so awesome, each and every one of you. For the info that you provide us on the stuff we love, and you bring us all together. And we definitely appreciate you, John Joker. Definitely. Super
John's cool. Awesome, and that's an overly generous super chat, dude. You don't need
there's
to
another
do that.
Good comment in here that needs to be highlighted, and it's right here. Smuggler's Canyon. So they have a small amount of small army snowtroopers until they started watching Anthony. And I have no army, but yeah, that's one thing that blows my mind about Anthony. I've never seen any collector with a collection like his and the way he has them on
Oh,
display
me
now.
neither.
My question is there a room where they're always displayed like that? Do you always have like 100 troopers and all your stuff laid out, or?
I wish no, they're all packed away. If you watch my is it the unboxing video? One of my videos, I actually have a picture of how they're all stored in boxes, but the boxes are all organized.
Yeah, I've seen that one because that's what I thought. You take them all out,
Yeah.
you display them. It's just epic, man. Epic.
Yeah, I'd like to redo that in HD. I'm at a studio now, and I want to broach the subject of, even using their motion control camera to do a sweeping time lapse shot. That would be pretty awesome.
Yes. Well, you're going to get badgered by us now for that. You're the person that comes to collect your rubbish every week, Anthony, must have some strange ideas, especially that the day after you posted that video where you opened 500 action figures in one go.
Do you know how many people were? My personal friends were texting me, and it's like, "You're going to recycle that plastic, right?"
I hope you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. How long did it take you to open all those?
Well, that was an afternoon for sure. It was carefully timed, but it just was a machine just going through and tearing it out and resetting the camera every once in a while to keep it a little interesting. So it took a good. I think it took a good 4 hours. If you watch, you could see the sun shift its quality over the time.
It's a beautiful video, but for in-box collectors like myself, you created a lot of anxiety throughout that video.
One of my buddies was like, actually Tim too, but one of my buddies, he's like, "Oh, I can't believe you opened that. I need one of those," because he unfortunately he had a complete collection of the original, like not the original, but the 2010 to 2012 vintage collection, and they got swiped. Somebody stole them out of his garage, and he's trying to piece it together, but he's like, "Oh, dude, I needed that. And then Tim, Bosk's Bounty, he's like, "Okay," it's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you opened that." So yeah, but so I sent him a few that I still had laying around that weren't a part of that video. But a lot of people were like, "Yeah, what are you doing?"
It was actually a bit like I think of that video as like a Star Wars punk video, because you nonchalantly just throw all the figures on the floor, and the title of the video is the Stormtrooper dump.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
And it's like everyone's just chuck, and then there's a pile of 500 troopers on the floor. It's just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
How many troopers have you got now in total? Do you know?
Well, I probably have about 1,500. If I broke everything out, the stuff that it wasn't in the video, I would say about 1,500.
Wow, that's awesome.
Paul, that is so funny. I broke out into hives while Anthony tore all those open.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like I did too.
So when you're making one of those stop motion reviews, do you script it out or write it out?
Oh yeah,
because it seems so smooth with like the dialogue, and then the way that when you get to the part where you're talking about how he moves, it just seems seamless.
Oh well, look, I end up doing everything twice. I'm, believe it or not, I'm really horrible on camera. My roommate makes fun of me all the time for my completely dry John Hodgman's delivery. But it just, even though I write it and it's in my brain, it's still hard to get a lot of the words to come out right. It's just not smooth for me. And then just with the animation, I'm my own worst critic. And, you figure out what your end frame is and you try to get there. And it's just a matter of like playing it back. Does this work? Oh, no, I could do better. So it's a time intensive progress. But I start with the script. start with the script. I have some ideas on what the sequences are going to be.
Do you storyboard it?
I don't. No. It's like what I'm standards. So like it's a variation of this shot that's behind me, and then on my desk and whatever special different thing I can do. And that's the thing that's is the part of the reason why it takes a while for videos to come out is because the community has been very responsive, and once I started animating the figures, it popped, and you guys all kind of like had a great reaction, and I always feel like I have to outdo myself. So like there's only so many ways that you could put a figure on the desk and animate it to show all the joints. So that's a good huge part of the reason why I wrote a script for the flame trooper, for the incinerator trooper, but I just never got around to it because I couldn't figure out like, well, how do I make it different from what I've already done? And then once Boba Fett came out, I'm like, all right, what could I do different? Slave One could land right next to me. I know how to do this, and that's one of those things that I think when people watch, they're gonna they're expecting something from me. You guys expect something special, so I have to try to deliver. So that was something like, all right, that's going to be cool. And then when I did it and I combined the two images together, and I should put that up on Instagram or somewhere where I could show you like me holding it, landing it whilst I'm also sitting here. That would be really fun. But it just, once that starts coming together, it's like, I know I got something, and that's, people are going to respond well.
Yeah, I'd like to see that picture, because were you in a full body green outfit holding that?
I wasn't. And, I was just commiserating because the job I'm on, it's we shoot tabletop. We're shooting pizza on a tabletop. But, they all know all the tricks for doing effects. And, for as many of the documentaries that I've watched with, green screen and how to do it, until you actually do it, sometimes you don't realize some of the stuff, because I work in the industry. I've done plenty of green screen shots, or at least I've been there while they're doing it. And I'm like, they light up the green screen. There's a reason why they light up the green screen, to keep shadows off. I just lit up myself, and I didn't think, oh, the green backing I have, oh, there's a shadow. Oh, that'll be easy to cut out. No, it's a little bit more work than I wanted. So, you learn by your mistakes. Yeah, so so it was a fun adventure. It wasn't as easy as I wanted it to be, but it still worked out.
All right, cool.
So I know you can't always talk about.
So great cast tonight. Keep up the killer work. So thank you, Sleeve and Collectibles. Appreciate that. And also, I just want to mention awesome. Benny Sullivan. He's real harsh, man. He says, Sean, you look way older than you sound in the videos. Kind of hurt my feelings. And then he says something bad about Salacious Crumb here. Doll looks so creepy.
Now you don't feel so bad.
Elmo unzipped his fur coat. I mean, man. But anyway, we love you, Benny Sullivan. It's all good. But there's another question for Tony here. It says, Anthony, what did you collect pre-TVC? And also, what did happen? I'm not sure about that last
Look, I mean, I've been collecting all my life. I still have all my original vintage Kenner figures. I was more or less forced to stop collecting, when Power of the Force came along, so I didn't have any of those. I eventually acquired them. And then once to 94, when Power of the Force 2 came out, I regret it a little bit, but I've been collecting since then. So with few exceptions, I have most everything, 3 3/4 inch.
Yeah, it seems Power of the Force is a big one. Most people.
Yeah, it's about that age, where I'm, your parents start going, yeah, you should be more interested in girls than toys. So
that was my problem. I was 14 years old, still playing with toys and riding a skateboard, and all my friends around me were peer pressuring me because all these girls were chasing me all the time. And I just had no interest. I was a weird kid, man. Weird for sure.
Oh, bless. You've got a crazy vehicle collection as well, Anthony, haven't you? Can you have you got everything catalogued, and do you know how many starships and vehicles you've got as well?
Let's see. I don't know why I don't have it perfectly memorized, but look, it's insane with the battalion. It's like I have 30. There's 32 TIE fighter pilots, so everyone's got to have a ship. So I have 8 TIE fighters, 8 interceptors, 8 TIE strikers, but I only have 5. I only have 5 TIE bombers. But
now, is there any way you can show us a quick tour of anything like that, or is it all? Like,
I wish I could. I really wish I could, but yeah,
that would be epic.
Yeah. I have some extras of that stuff too, but ATST wise, like Walker wise, like I have 16 ATSTs because there's I have 32 ATST drivers and 2 to a ATST, so gotta have it. I just acquired. I was really bugging about the speeder bike, because that Toys R Us speeder bike is like absolutely hands down the best speeder bike, and I was trying to get a speeder bike for every speeder or biker scout in my battalion, and I finally acquired the last 2.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, I want to lay down a little bit of a challenge for you at some point, Anthony, because you've got very clearly a very impressive Imperial army going on. But the Kowakian monkey lizard army isn't bad, and there's also an Ewok army over here. So one day we want to go Mano v Monkey Lizard, and we want to put the Monkey Lizard army up against the Imperial army in a fight off. Are you up for it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, there we go. The monkey lizards have acquired some Imperial vehicles to use in their army, so I'll just pre-warn you.
Well, here's a question for you all. How many of you guys, because we certainly did this, because the guy that I started collecting Star Wars from, that my neighbor 2 doors down, he eventually got into G.I. Joes. So back when you were kids, how many battles do you guys have between your Star Wars armies and your G.I. Joe army?
Yeah, you know what? I think that's true, because once the 3 3/4 G.I. Joes came out, you would pit them against each other, because I didn't just use my Star Wars figures when I was playing for Star Wars figures. I would make up my own characters, and they wouldn't actually be the characters from the movies or whatever. So they intermingled very well. I had
Micronauts as droids for my Star Wars toys.
Yep, those 2. You can stick any of them could have went in there.
Yeah, we mentioned that a couple weeks ago, but that was me too. Like Hammerhead was my Darth Vader. Basically, it was always Han and Chewie going after Hammerhead. Because Vader to me looked horrible with no cape and no saber. He's just a skinny black thing. So
with the big helmet.
Yeah. But
I never got into.
Thing,
go on. Sorry, Sean. My bad.
No, I would just build forts and stuff like around the Millennium Falcon, because they used to have these plastic like connectable things, and you could build like big fortresses. I used to do that a lot, and I don't know if I really mixed any, because I didn't really collect G.I. Joe as a kid. It was all Star Wars, and then Masters of the Universe was swept me away also.
I'm sorry. I used to have all the Mego, the Mego superheroes, but I would make my own outfits for them, so then they would.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty soon not have superhero outfits anymore, but they'd be dressed differently. And I remember I had a whole set, and it was like a secret police force, and that was like part of my story. It turned into my comic books later on. That I would draw on when I got a little bit older. But that's how it started. You're making up the stories with the figures, and then later you're putting them into a comic or something.
Yeah.
And you're still making little outfits for your figures now, aren't you, Vern?
I am. Or painting them.
Yeah, he has a new Luke already.
Hmm.
Check that out.
I took the Dagobah Luke and painted them just because I was like, well, they're not going to sell me two.
It's literally the exact same figure. Yep.
Yeah. The only thing is I couldn't get that perfect grayish, because it was a gray. It's a gray blue or something for the pants, dark gray blue, and I just did blue black.
Do you delve into Black Series, Anthony? I'm just trying. I can't think of too many Black Series videos. It's mostly vintage collection you do, isn't it?
Yeah, when I started, I figured my focus is going to be 3 3/4 inch Imperial. I realize I'm probably limiting myself, but look, I have.
I don't know if you could call your collection limiting yourself.
Exactly, I know.
Well, to Imperial
limiting
forces,
myself
I
for the
think.
material that I could do on YouTube. So
Yeah.
I was trying to find, like when I did the hallway, it was sort of like, all right, I got to find an Imperial slant on this, so I got to tackle it from the Imperial perspective. But for the Black Series, like, look, the Black Series figures are gorgeous. They're really well done, and I love them.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I look at it, like, am I going to display these? Because I like to open them up. I like to bend all the joints. I like to see what they can do. That's half of the fun with having figures. But it's like, how's a display of the 6-inch going to look with the display of the 3 3/4 inch? So I collect the select few, but I completely love the Black Series. It's just, it's not my focus.
And
I wanted to ask.
Go for it, dude.
No, it's okay. Go for it.
I was just going to say, how much into the world of customizing have you got to supplement your army? I notice you've got lots of banners and flags and things like that with your army. Not all that is off the shelf, is it?
The flags are, believe it or not. Those came with a Comic-Con exclusive, the 501st Stormtrooper. So it came with the flag, and what I did was I painted over. It says, well, I don't think you could. Yeah, I painted over. It says Vader's fist, and then I think the 501st down here or something like that. So you can kind of, let's see a little bit where I painted. So I don't know why I did that, but I did. I have a few that aren't painted, but so those are not custom. And yeah, I wish I was more skilled. I can paint. Could you do me a favor? I have one of my speeder bikes over on the table, and someone's going to hand the black one. All I could do is paint, and I'm getting better at painting. Here we go. So for my Shadow Squadron, that was good. Painted speeder bike. That's what the last two I got. They're going to get this paint job. Was really trying. I really want a mud trooper that's super articulated. I'm so frustrated that we only have the 5 or 7 or point of articulation one that came with those, or the Han Solo one, and the other one that came with the 6-pack from Target. And I've been, I have a couple pieces aside that I want to start taking apart and get a Dremel and try to piece something together. It's just timing. I haven't been able to do it, and I just don't think I have the skill to do it, but I'd like to give it a shot.
I took apart is learning and developing new skills.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I took apart a land speeder and a raised speeder, and I had every intention of trying to build something new, and it's still a bunch of pieces in the bag.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I wanted to do the Incredible Cross Sections snow speeder trooper. You guys all know that one, right? It's like I still have like my snow trooper and my biker scout sitting there that I'm like, I'm going to do this someday. I'm going to do this someday. I'm going to take this part and I'm going to put it together so I could build it exactly like it's in the picture in the book. But yeah,
that's my problem too, man. I do that all the time, and I have piles of things around me, and it's, the missus is getting really mad.
Tez, I'm running out of movies.
That's why I left that on the screen. We need an explanation.
Look, there's a few, and I hope it wouldn't spoil. But living in Los Angeles, I live at near the Sepulveda Dam, and one of my favorite movies, the end sequence, the title credit sequence, was shot there, and I want to do a on location version so that I just kind of take 7 stormtroopers out there and just do it in the exact pose.
What was shot there?
Exactly. Yes,
What?
he knows. Yes.
What is it?
Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh,
It was the end sequence after the credits. It's like, Peter Weller throws down a rope and he, comes down. Then everybody in the movie is just.
And then the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As soon as you said the end sequence.
That's cool.
I've never been out there. I've even lived closer to there. I drive by it all the time. Believe it or not, what's it called? Iron Man 3, the end sequence when they're fighting and all that those storage bins. That's where they shot that.
No way!
They were there for weeks.
Wow, that's cool.
Well, I made a bunch of moderators. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on, Ron.
You've created lots of tools in the chat, so you've made a lot of people happy.
And we also got
Tina.
Lynn, super chat. Thank you very much. Says because you guys make me feel like a kid again.
Oh, thank you, Tina. Tina's so nice. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tina.
So, Anthony, you've mentioned a couple things about movies. So, I had 2 questions for you, and I've always been interested to talk to you about this. I know you can't always talk about the projects you work on, but what kind of roles do you play when you are on set, or what's your duty job? And then how did you get into that?
I've actually done a lot. I started out as a camera assistant. I almost stepped on Corey Feldman's head, and we became friends after that.
What? Was that License to Drive?
No, it was nobody's seen the movie. It was called Lipstick. Wait, yeah, it was called Lipstick Camera.
Okay.
Man, it's just various roles.
You had a lot of different roles.
But lately, I got back into doing commercials, and I'm an assistant director, so I take care of all the talent. So anybody who's on screen on a commercial I work on, I'll, when they come in, I make sure that their paperwork is all good, ready, and then I get them dressed, I get them in makeup, I get them on set. And kind of depending on what I'm doing, if I'm working with a lot of background, hey, where'd I go? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just saw a black screen with a swirly going on. Anyway, it's like a lot of times I'll get to direct like what the background are doing in the back of a shot. So that's always fun. So that's what I do to earn a living. And during COVID, since we're not having a lot of background these days, I'm doing more COVID compliance. So just making sure everybody's safe on set, wearing their masks and doing all that.
So how'd you get into doing that?
Well, I moved out here. That's, all I ever wanted to be since high school was well, that's my ex-wife, everybody. Say hi to Amelia.
Amelia.
No, it's just, and it's because of Star Wars. This is the thing that I remark, especially because I have to be careful what I'm saying, but like, I'm working on occasion at a certain studio where they're shooting a certain show, and I have a lot of friends who work on that show, or I should say now those shows. So, but like a lot of these people, like they're us. They grew up. They were kind of nerdy and they like playing with toys and they never grew out of it. And that's why I always tell people, it's like, you ever be ashamed of having a passion for something, because people are getting paid very well to do what they've always dreamed of doing. So, yeah.
So
great community.
You cast the 4 of us in a commercial?
Yeah. I wish I could. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you lot.
Cereal.
I'll send you my headshot.
I don't know about you lot, but there's certainly a lack of monkey lizard representation in adverts. We need more monkey lizards in adverts for sure.
So, what out of
how about Paul's
movies? Out of all the movies you've worked on, what has been your favorite?
I have an answer for that, and for some reason I'm flaking on it. I got to work on Hail Caesar, and I could almost talk about that as much as I want, because first of all, it was an incredible experience. It was so well run. Like literally, I kind of hated working on it because I couldn't earn any money, because when you're working, I was working as a PA on that. It's like when you work as a PA, you earn your money in overtime because you work a lot. These guys are so efficient, and like Josh Brolin, oh man, it's like everybody's so rehearsed. I will still never forget doing my first shot with him. It was a walk and talk down a hall. They did like 2 takes, and they cut to an insert on the watch, and we were moving on. As like an incredible experience. So working with the Coen brothers has definitely been a highlight of my working career. But
that's really cool.
Way back in the day, though, when I first got here, I did get to work on Star Trek. So that was like a big goal.
Show?
I work Deep Space Nine.
Dude, I'm doing a Deep Space Nine rewatch. I'm on season 4. I love Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It was just
in...
the one. I'm terrible at remembering titles, but it's the one where Worf and Jadzia go to get the dagger or the sword of Kalesh. I always pronounce that wrong. Kalish. I pronounce it wrong.
Kalis.
But yeah, Kalis. Thank you, jeez. But dude, I love Deep Space Nine. I go back and forth with my favorite Trek is, but Deep Space Nine and Voyager, it's one or the other. I can never decide.
Yeah, I had 3 goals, 3 check marks to cross off, and I've got 2 of them. One was working on Star Trek, and I lucked out to be there for like 2.5, maybe 3 seasons when I first moved out. I got to work with the Muppets. So that was a dream come true. That was so awesome. Amazing, and my last check mark is Star Wars, and working on that.
Nice. We're pulling for you, man. That's awesome. You're living the dream for all of us.
Before I lose this, can you answer Paul's question here? It says, long shot, does Anthony know Casey Grimm, another first AD, or does he similar work in LA?
I've heard of a KC, but I honestly cannot remember if Grimm is his last name. It's not someone that I would have worked with regularly, or it may have been somebody I just heard about.
So I hope that one day when you went to work, Anthony, and you were shooting and you saw that poor monkey lizard in that cage, that you protested to the creative executives.
Yeah, for all your newcomers, we have been putting links to everybody's YouTube channel in the chat. Definitely want to check us out. Today's guest is Anthony. He just did a stop motion video on the brand new 3.75 Boba Fett. Definitely go check that out. It's 4 minutes of your time that you'll be thankful for. And of course, we got Vern, Salacious Rum, and a dude's nerdery. So just thought I'd throw that little plug in there.
Nice. Work it, Sean.
Apprentice Ewok.
So is there anything that would be from your time on Star Trek? Is there anything that you could share that would be interesting or surprising to us just from being on a Star Trek set? I'm a huge Trek fan.
Did you watch all of Deep Space Nine?
I watched it when it was released, and this will be my second full rewatch of it. DS9 to me is like comfort food, so I like watching it at night after a long day or something. It just makes me feel good when I watch it. I don't know how else to explain it.
I wasn't working on then, but I had plenty of friends who were still there. But I was there the night they were shooting the finale. It was the finale. It was the last season. They were shooting the finale. And I got to tell this story because I worked with the director of that episode like just 2 years ago, and he was shocked. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was there when this happened. But there's the Gul Dukat and Cisco are fighting. There was a Avery missed through a punch and broke it. I'm forgetting the guy who played
Gul
Dukat. He's such a sweetheart of a man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's awesome in that
but,
role because you just
yeah.
hate him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, an actor's good when you
yeah.
just watch him on screen and you're like,
Yeah.
"Urgh."
Yeah.
Oh no,
But,
dude! Avery Brooks could throw a punch. It looks like when you watch. Oh my god!
that was a little bit of a thing, but man, that cast is they were, everybody was really sweethearts, great people. So I love them to death. So
yeah, Terry Farrell, Jadzia is one of my all time Star Trek crushes. Respectfully, like I love, and part of it too is how strong she's in that role. And it's to me the concept of and I'm still suffering from brain fog of her species, the Trill. Just having for those of you guys who don't know, that the species has a symbiote that kind of is immortal and it gets passed from person to person. So she, I believe, was on her 7th life with this symbiote, but you have the personality of the person that the symbiote gets input into, but you retain all the memories of the prior hosts. And so I thought she played that masterfully. Especially off Cisco Avery Brooks, because they had a prior relationship. I always loved how he calls her old man. I thought that was pretty cool. But dude, wow, I can't believe that. I want to go rewatch that now and see that fight scene. Do any of you guys up there watch any of the old Trek series? I know we talk more about Star Wars and Marvel on here, but just out of curiosity.
I watch all of them. Love
No,
Deep Space Nine and Next Generation. Didn't really get into Voyager too much, but Deep Space Nine was my favorite, and Next Generation, I think.
Yeah,
Voyager was my favorite.
I
think
do
it
love
was
Voyager.
It was the whole idea that they were cut off from the Federation and they were kind of on their own. So it to me took it right back to like, in that 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds type of thing. There's
a great way to do it.
The chemistry between Chakotay and the captain was really good.
Well, and 7 and 9 when she came on, that I think it took that series to a whole other level. And dude, I love Voyager. I love all of them. I mean, because I was born in 77, so I grew up watching reruns of the original series, and then every subsequent series I've watched live as it's aired, from Next Generation all the way through. So I feel like I've grown up with Star Trek as much as Star Wars, and I love those shows.
Do you collect other toy lines, Anthony, like Star Trek figures or other toy?
I have all the Playmates figures.
Yes, yeah, they're good. They're cool. I
like them. They had a personality. Yeah. I just got so much stuff. I just pick up whatever catches my eye. I'm digging the new Diamond Select Black Hole figures. So I have Vincent and Bob and Maximilian. They're awesome. And I have some of the vintage. I have most of the vintage Battlestar Galactica. I was at Comic-Con the last time they had Comic-Con 2 years ago. At a $5 box, I found almost the entire second wave of Battlestar Galactica vintage figures. So it was like, oh man, I can't pass this down or pass this up. I had some Buck Rogers and Black Hole. I'm a big Black Hole fan. So I have a couple Century Robots, and those there were some good figures way back when.
Well, it's normally around this time that we show each other some of the toys we've picked up over the last week. Is there anything that you've picked up that you've got mildly to hand that you want to show?
Well, the most recent thing I got was the Boba Fett wave, and I really here he is. So, but I did that whole video. He gets caught up, and wow, how prophetic is that? Where he falls off the barge, huh? What? Jesus, he's caught. Dude, he's totally caught in the string that I have here for my 1,000 thing. So I could waste a lot of screen time on that. But here we go. Thank you. So
there we go.
Yeah, exactly. So this wave is the latest that I got, and everything is out of reach. I'd have to go off thing. But it's an awesome
what
figure.
A beauty. Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm still waiting for the armor wave. I still haven't got my case from Dorkside. Seems they're late for some reason. So like this is the wave before this wave. So, but anyway, those I got from Hasbro. I think Hasbro sent them in early. So that's it. Nothing exciting.
Who's going next?
Mine's a huge list, man. So I'll go a little bit later. I went nuts.
That's
unlike you.
Yeah,
mine is super simple. I got one figure this week. Another Hasbro Pulse cancellation. Was able to get it on Amazon. Actually got it next day. We have the brown and yellow Wolverine from the House of X-Wave. So, dude, I love these boxes. Love that X background, and just check out that figure, man. He is so cool.
okay. Once I get
That
you
is
on
cool.
there, hold on. I don't know why I can't do that.
There it is. There he is. Two heads. Look at that grimacing
That is
face,
sick.
though. So cool, man. I'm kind of like with Wolverines. It's the way I am with Luke Skywalker. I'll take one of each, please. So that's it for me.
Yes, that was
and then
the
this
186.
and then this shirt, my '90s X-Men shirt.
Which is looking sweet. So is that it? You were light this week? So you got busted from last week when you were locked down with all them
What are all
packages.
those boxes?
I told you guys the 2 weeks prior to quarantine, no figures. I'm in quarantine. It's like boxes galore. I leave quarantine. And I
It was
get one
so funny,
shipment.
man, watching that.
So yeah, we got busted. But I've had this one forever. So
All right. Who's up next? And I'll try to figure out this screen.
No, I can get. All right. you
Wait,
can put
so
me up on
Salacious
there.
Rum has that Black Series bed.
Oh, you put him up.
I'm really jealous. I can't wait for those.
Sean, you just drag the screens around. So if you
Okay.
grab that's it. Just drag them around. There you go.
Ooh, perfect.
So a couple of weeks ago, I got some of these retro figures, but Holochronicles was able to pick these up and ship them out to me. So I was able to get these this week. So I haven't been able to find hardly any of them in stores.
Those cards are awesome.
I did. I know.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
even
able
gonna
to
open them
pre-order
and,
Spider-Man this week on Amazon, but that's not till April.
Oh, with
But
the
yeah, I was so thankful.
with the Carol Danvers. Yeah, with the Carol Danvers, right?
Mhm.
And then I got this. I've never seen this before.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I'm so
I'm trying to
jelly.
figure out. Have you seen this before?
No.
I've never
Revoltech. Yeah, Revoltech.
Okay, I've
Is
never
it
seen the
die-cast?
company. No, it looks like it's going to be plastic because it's pretty light. But I picked it up, so I want to take it out and compare it to like the regular Troopers. I'll do a video on that. And then because you were talking about Battlestar Galactica, I picked this up at.
Oh,
Yes.
no way.
I love it.
Yes.
It's not Ross, but it's another store like a Ross.
Mhm.
And I can't remember the name of it, but it's not Home Goods, but it's like darn it, what is it? Not DD's, but it was one of those types
Yeah.
of stores, and it was just like at the register, so I had to get it. I mean, $5, right?
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Totally.
Was
That's
it TJ Maxx?
No, it wasn't TJ Maxx. It was oh, you know what it was? It was Burlington Coat Factory. That's what it
Oh,
was.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go on
That's
ours
so random.
occasionally and can never find nothing in
I
there.
got several of those around.
Yeah. Supposedly
All right.
there's a Starbuck also, but I couldn't find them. So
I'm still
would've been
not
cool.
over the fact that back in the day that they made a Starbuck, but they didn't make an Apollo. I mean, what was all
Yeah.
that all about?
Yeah.
How'd
I'll
you
do
not have an
another.
Apollo?
What happened?
Exactly. Bizarre decision.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll
You'll-
tell you, if they re-released those figures and the Vipers, I'd love to get a Starbuck and Apollo, each have them in a Viper. That would be so cool. I love that show growing up as well. I did also enjoy the rehash of it, that however long ago that was.
2003, 2004 it started.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was good too.
It's just an interesting side note. A lot of because Ron Moore, who's on Star Trek, he took over that, but a lot of the effects guys went over to work on that, and I knew a couple
cool.
of them, and chatting with them afterwards, like they let the effects guys just kind of have their way. You know,
That's
they
cool.
a lot of the effects they were just doing it out of pure love because they're like, oh, you know what would be cool to do this. So yeah, that's yeah, they were having a lot of fun doing those effects.
Yeah, the design and the effects on that show were very cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was next level for a TV show when it came out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But,
great storylines. Yeah.
You know, it's not I'm a full student, but it's the development of using CG for TV is quite a story. In fact, like again, I don't know if I'm ever going to work for Star Trek again. But like I just remember being in the offices and they had an article about Babylon 5 and how they're using computer and sort of like it was pushing Star Trek to move into the computer age for their effects. You know, quite a development.
Absolutely. Plus, it gave us Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
remember when
like, think about how.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, and that was a pretty risky move, changing Starbuck to a female. Yeah. And it totally paid off. She was awesome in that role. I mean, she just owned that role. I mean, I loved her. To me, she was probably the best part of that series.
Good writing is good writing. It's like you can't, you know, if she wasn't a well-written character, of course it wouldn't work. But yeah, it was lightning in a bottle.
And now she's our Bo-Katan, which is awesome too. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, two iconic characters, and she's nailed both of them. But both have been well written. So you're right.
Yeah, I've seen her do interviews with like creators with barely 1,000 subs too on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen those, but yeah, really, really cool.
She's got her own YouTube channel where she posts like workout videos and stuff. Yeah, she's cool. I do like her. Who's next? Who's next for the toys?
All right. Let me show you real quick so I can
come on, Sean.
Try to get this right here this time. Okay, now it's not working at all. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Hold on. All right, sweet. Double tap me. Oh no, drag me. Okay. All right, here we go, guys. All right, sweet. First up, Danny in chat sent me this amazing diorama. I'm sure you've seen it in my recent video.
Very cool.
But unbelievable, man. He worked so hard on that, and it's got magnet on the side, so I can fix all that. But yeah, that is my proudest thing. The next thing, somebody
Sean, before you move on, are you going to graffiti the wall?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about getting a little banister, you know, like on Spider-Man, how they have those stairways that go up, and it's a metal rack, and just sitting on the side. And having like Black Widow hanging over the edge, staring at my reviews. Okay. From Collectors versus Collectors, I got this.
Jaina. So, very nice.
Absolutely
very nice.
Epic.
That is why I'm conflicted about the Black series, because that's an awesome figure, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should get that one because she's
I have it
up, and that's why I got that. Paul's Collectibles sent me this. What an awesome dude. So I couldn't find him anywhere. Yeah, so really, really appreciate that. I got this from Amazon, my first Deadpool. But it's the Ash Deadpool.
Stealthy.
So that is, I'm really excited about that. Actually, it does look a little bit red, but I guess the red Deadpool is outrageous. So, and of course, you know, I did this number. I don't know if you see that. But the whole wave of the new Black series with, you know, the Bad Batch, got all those guys. So I won't even show those because we've all seen those last week. But this one here, check this out. Look at that.
Nice.
Voltron Classic. But wait till you see this. This is just wicked, man. Unbelievable.
Was that the big expensive one, or is that a different one?
No, this one's $50. So
okay.
But it comes in a beautiful classic case. Pull this off.
Oh, that's nice.
And then you open it up.
Super
reveal. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
But I was so excited with this right here. Oh, unbelievable. I got that at Big Bad Toy Store. I
heck out of my Voltron as a kid. That is awesome.
Yeah. And then also I got These two. So,
Yes, many faces, and Scare Glow.
Yeah, both those were in-store pickups, and then of course, last but not least is this bad boy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
But it's got Animal. Yeah, it was the only one I didn't have, and it was in stock at I think it was Big Bad Toy Store, and they had the Voltron while I was there. So yeah, they got me good. But yeah, that's my haul.
Do they do Fraggle Rock? Do they do Fraggle Rock stuff?
Yeah, I would love some Fraggle Rock stuff. Wouldn't that be cool?
I haven't seen it, but I if I did see it, it would definitely pop. You know, big Fraggle Rock fan.
Yeah, me too. The Dowsers. Is it the Dowsers? The green
Dozer. Well,
Dozers.
You could probably call them Dowsers, but I think on the show they were called Dozers.
I had one of those when I was a kid, like a spongy one with a little yellow hat on. Love those. Oh, I love Fraggle Rock.
Got a lot of chat to pick up on here.
Down at Fraggle Rock.
Has Rum picked up anything?
Oh yes, I've been busy.
Does.
Yeah, we've had.
I was saying that I'm jealous of that Ben you have in back there.
Okay, put me up full screen then, Sean, and then we'll go to chat
go.
after. I've had quite a good week actually. Before I get to that,
you got Obi-Wan.
I did. That came today.
Oh no way!
That literally came today. It's random because I got it from Amazon, but I ordered all of them. So the Greedo, and what was the other one? There was 3, weren't there?
There's Obi-Wan, Greedo, and
a Jawa.
Yeah, so I ordered 3 of them, and only this one came today for some reason in a box on its own. But it's super cool. I love the old school Kenner style. I hope they do more figures like this. But the face sculpt is very, very good. So that arrived today, which was fun. This came in the post. This might interest Anthony. My very first Polish bootleg.
You got one. Nice.
Yeah, this is a Gen 1 Polish bootleg 80 driver, or is it the driver or the pilot? I don't know. I can't remember.
Looks like the driver.
Yeah. So he's going to go off for grading. He was not cheap, but I've gone down that rabbit hole. So, and then randomly my Akbar finally turned up. That's been on pre-order for ages. So I got my Akbar and my T-Bow, and I had a mail notification today from Star Action Figures. I've got so many figures on pre-order. They're so slow in the UK. I've got about 30 figures arriving tomorrow.
Wow.
And then I love these Dixie cups. Remember these Dixie cups?
Oh yeah.
So I've been collecting these. So there's 3 that have got Salacious Rum on, Salacious Crumb. So there's 1 missing, which I've just ordered. And I'm on the hunt for. You can only get them in America, so someone might want to help me out. But the Burger King cups from Return of the Jedi, they didn't come out in the UK. But one of them has got a Salacious Crumb on.
I'll tell you what, Ron. If I got them, and I know I do, in my mom's garage, I'm going to be helping her clean it out after she gets her second shot. But if they have them in there, it's yours, man. I'll mail it to you. For sure.
That would be amazing.
I'm positive we got them all.
That would be truly amazing. And then I really love Japanese Sofubi, the vintage ones. So I bought this one. This is for Vern, because I know Vern's into them as well. So although I bought it for Vern, and I am sending this to Vern, I have been playing with this all week. But it's a kaiju monster. He's got claw hands. He's Bandai 1983. They just make crazy designs in Japan, don't they? Look at that. I don't even know, like, what is he? Like a squid man, or I don't know. But he's awesome. And I bought an Ultraman King as well. They're 10 a penny, these, to be honest, but it is a vintage Bandai 88.
That's right up Vern's alley.
Yeah, I know. I'm debating whether to put this into Vern's package or not, because I've been playing with this one as well. So he may or may not get this one. I haven't decided yet. He's given me the look, so it might end up in Vern's package. And then Oh, boys, what are you guys doing to me? It's your fault, collectively, and it's also John Joker's fault. I've gone in on Batman again. So last week I showed you.
You did.
I know. Last week I showed you those two.
Yep.
Then I thought, well, I've got to get classic Joker. So I got a classic Joker, and then I've got to get a more classic Batman. So it's still an Arkham Batman, but there's like 2 variants. So I got those 2, and then I saw this crazy Batman, which is like I don't know how you describe him. He's kind of rock and roll deaf Batman, and I thought that's awesome. And then I realized he comes with a bike. Look at that bike! That thing's nuts. So it's like a Meatloaf bat out of hell Batman bike.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'm getting that. That is awesome. And then these are quite old, but they randomly turned up. They must have been on order ages ago. I got a couple of vintage figures, Snoke, and I forget what that guy's. I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name, but they turned up, and I've got a ton of stuff coming tomorrow. So next week should be an interesting session as well. So that's my pickups for the week. Oh, and I've also got a ton of. I saw my God bless her. Saw my mother for the first time in ages, and she likes to collect Funko Pops for me. And she popped round to see me, and she bought a massive box. I'm not kidding. There's about 20 Star Wars Funko Pops around here, so I'm not going to get those out. But I'll be. I've got lots of material for shorts for the next couple of weeks anyway. So if you see a load of Star Wars Funko Pop shorts in your notifications, it will be Salacious Rum.
And Salacious, you also got the Carbonite. Watch that.
Yeah.
I watched that video.
Oh,
yeah, that thing was awesome.
That's the best one, actually. I forgot to show you that. So, this is this is from a company in America. They're prop makers, and it's in the style of an animated monkey lizard, and it's called. They're on Etsy. They're called the Quackian Monkey Lizard Adoption Agency. And they used to make these monkey lizards for cosplayers. So you'd see these style monkey lizards all in different colors on people's shoulders at Star Wars Celebration and whatnot. But he stopped making them, and he made this. He hasn't got any others. This was his last one. It's latex. It's got a nice squishy nose, but it's on a big bit of solid wood, and it's massive. It's 33 inches, and Salacious doesn't really like it. I'll be honest. All the other monkey lizards around here, like they scuttle past it. They're a bit worried. They don't want to be frozen. But I just thought it was cool, and that will go up on the wall in the monkey lizard lair somewhere. So yeah, hell of a time shipping that over from America though, with all the taxes and stuff you have now. So, but I think it was worth it, and I like supporting creators and artisans and people that make stuff like that. So there you go. There's my pickups.
All right. So
hey, let us know in chat if you guys picked up anything cool or unique this week.
We'll wait.
So guys, should we share our candidates for surprise unboxing?
Go
for it. Let's see what you got.
All right, so I've been inspired by all the Twitter talk. I got handsome monkey lizard. So I've got a lot of talk on Twitter about this guy over the last few days. I've been staring at him a while. So we got Groots. We have, and sometimes who's here as a contender, we've got the Invincible Iron Man. And I'm going to go off the board this week and surprise everyone and throw up Shatterstar.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
He's back. So we got Groot's Shatterstar or the Invincible Iron Man from comic book run. I think about 2018 was the run with the suit and the sword. What do you guys got?
Sound off in the chats. Let us know what you want to do to unbox.
Yes, let me know which one you guys would like to see liberated.
Has Vern got any candidates?
I don't have anything I'm going to unbox today.
Okay. How about Anthony?
Yeah, is there anything that this is a bit of a tradition of ours. Dude started it, but people like to hear and watch us open something. It's like ASMR time on the show.
Next time I will I'll save something specifically for that. I have a tradition is when I get it in, it's like it'll sit there until the evening. When I'm done, all I want to do, and like, all right, it's time to open my toys.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we know you're opening something, Sean. So, what are the candidates?
You know what? Let's see. Who do I got laying around here? Yeah. Let's see. How about just her? We're gonna take a look at her.
Yeah.
Does everybody know who that is? I'm dying to open
her,
so that's gonna be our candidate. So, but it looks like it's a big battle. We got Groot, Shatterstar again. So who in the chat's seen Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier? And have all you guys seen it already?
Yes,
I have
most
not.
Definitely.
Do you plan on watching it, Anthony?
Oh yeah, I have to watch WandaVision as well, but they're high on my list.
Okay. So we can try to keep it spoiler free and just give our thoughts on it.
No. Don't alter the chat on my account.
Okay. Well, I'll just start out by saying I loved it. I thought it was terrific, man. It was better than the pilot of WandaVision to me. It started out with action right away, and through the entire show, it showed us the after effects of Endgame. And to me, I just thought it was excellent. And then it showed the struggle of the relationship with Falcon and his wife and his little fishing town. I thought it was just a brilliant story. It's building into something that's going to be amazing. And then that cliffhanger at the end.
Don't give any
spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no, that's as far as I go. That's as far as I go. But that sums up my thoughts. The dude's the one with the map on these things usually. So,
but I know what you said on Twitter that you said it was better than any episode of WandaVision. So I just want to say this before we get started. So the two shows I can see already to me are like they're different, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I remember when the first episode of WandaVision came out, there was a lot of talk about like, oh, what was that episode about? And people weren't really into it in the beginning. So I can already see that like the start off on Falcon and Winter Soldier was actually fantastic because it went right along with like the story. It just picked up and continued. But I really dug like WandaVision from the beginning. And it was because of the sets, the way they did all the episodes. So like I can't really compare the two, right? Like and say one's going to be better than the other one. But the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the way that they did the two different story arcs in there, I think is fantastic. And I think that they're doing both the characters justice at this point. So I really appreciated that.
So when I threw that out to us, really the thought was not so much comparing because they're different, but after watching the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I really felt that was better than any episode of WandaVision, just for me. And even though they are different, and just like you guys said, from the start, it grabs you. Like it totally grabs you. It sucks you in. That was one of the coolest openings it probably in almost any Marvel movie. I mean, that was thrilling to watch the opening. I really enjoyed how you started off with like the fantastical, action sequence, right? But then most of the episode was then just grounded, developing and setting up the character arcs for both Bucky and Sam. And I really liked how the layers they put in, especially for Sam, like that was pretty intense. Just getting into his story and not Sam, for Bucky, it was very intense of what he's doing right now and where he's at in his life. And then the arc that they're building up to. I was like riveted when they did that. And to me, that's part of what makes the MCU great is they think these things out and they have layers, but you connect with them not just because they're a superhero. You connect with them because they're a person, and they have an arc and a struggle, and it's so well written. And what I really like is how they're setting up how it's going to be like a buddy cop, right? They're very different personalities, and in us growing up, 80s and 90s buddy cop movies. I was explaining to my almost 16-year-old we were watching it, is that we grew up in an era of buddy cop movies where you pair two people together with different personalities, and it does make entertaining, and then you watch them become friends, right? So I love how they set it up. I love the story arcs that they've set us up on, and then the action sequence was outstanding. I mean, I like. When you see something like that, and when you get done and you're just excited and you have energy and you can't wait for the next one, that it was a well done show. So I cannot wait for the rest of the series. So I guess I would ask you guys again, keeping spoiler free. Did it meet, exceed, or underperform in terms of expectations? So for myself, it actually exceeded my expectations for the first episode. How about you guys in chat?
So I think, personally, I think it met my expectations. I was expecting a Captain America Winter Soldier feel to the movie, just because of the characters. And I think that we're going to get kind of like that same, action-paced storyline that we had with that. And that was probably one of my favorite films.
I love hearing that there's a consistency just in the material. So I'm excited to watch.
Oh, and I vowed not to get into like Easter eggs and hints, because I think I went down some kind of rabbit hole with WandaVision, and then I got really mad about the boner joke. Like I was so mad when that happened. But just watching it without intent to look for stuff like that, there was a lot of callbacks, and again, it is so layered and planned out and methodical. But the thing, like, there was just small things that took you right back to Captain America and Winter Soldier, and I found that so interesting, that whether that was planned or not, but the layers they put into it, and as excited as I am for the action sequences, like, I'm really excited to see Bucky's arc after they just set that up. It's incredible.
The storyline's going to be great, and I think that's a good idea, because watching a show and not trying to find like a clue to something else is just going to make the show 10 times more enjoyable, right?
It is. It was a good life lesson.
Yeah, and you're just watching it to watch it, which is, I think what if you go in with that intent and you find something, that's one thing. But if you go in looking for it, you'll find whatever you want to find.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think they did
I'm shutting up. Go.
Oh, no,
so what I was going to say.
No, but I think it's off to a good start. So I'm hoping that they keep the pacing up, and then it'll carry it through.
So one of the things I think, the writer director did is, and again, I'm going to say Bucky again, and it's only because in all the movies, he was just an accessory character to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always thought he did a good job, especially the action scenes he was in was really good, but he wasn't someone I was invested in, or, he just was another superhero on the screen that did a good job being what he was there for. Right. And in one episode, they made me care about him, like immediately care about him, identify with him in a lot of ways of just some of the things he's going through with like depression and making amends and things like that. And then now it's like, I'm totally invested in his character. And to do that in 50 minutes, less than 50 minutes, is incredible. Because there's not many writers, directors that can do something like that. So to me, that was one of the most surprising things about it is how much I now care about and identify with him as a character.
So good opening episodes, nothing groundbreaking from my point of view, fun to watch, but I can't believe you want to spend so much time talking about that when the Snyder Cut was clearly the standout piece of entertainment that came out over the last couple of days. Oh my God. Winter Soldier, it was fine. It's gonna be fun, but Zack Snyder is a visionary. What an amazing, what a brilliant 4 hours of DC magic. So there you go. I'll just stir that pot, dude.
Well, let's segue. Let's segue.
Did everybody watch it?
I have not. I bet it's on my list. It was highly recommended. If you guys don't know, I do a column every once in a while for Forces of Geek. The editor
Brandon.
is thank you very much. But anyway, the editor is he's very passionate about pop culture, and he had just watched it, and I trust his opinion a lot. And he gave it glowing reviews. So if he's given it a glowing review, I know I'm going to like it.
Well, it's a good. Sorry, Vern. Go for it.
Go ahead. Okay. Well, I'll just preface. I did watch it, but I watched it in 3 parts because I started the first part when it was really late on, I think Thursday, and then I ended up having to watch a little bit last night, and I watched a little bit today. So I did watch it in 3 parts, and that may have helped me like it a lot more because I thought it was really good.
Well, I think it's a good. If you watch both cuts, the Whedon cut and then the Snyder cut, this is a good example of when studios get it right and when they get it wrong. And I felt for Zach, that family tragedy he went through was appalling. You wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I was saying to Brandon on his stream, obviously this is a bit of a problem. It's where business meets art, and people have and there are investors that have spent millions of pounds on this, and they want a return on the investment. What should have happened is Warner Brothers should have given him some time to come back to it and release it at a later date. But obviously that does not work in the business world. They needed to release it. They wanted their
capitalism doesn't care, man.
Right. But the Whedon cut was a mess, and this is probably a bit of we've seen a little bit of this of when studios don't take their time, because the sequel trilogy in Star Wars was definitely rushed, and it's not to say it was bad, and people have got their different views on that. But I just think how much better it could have been if there was more time for the writing process to take place, and so I just go back and watch the Snyder cut, and I just think, wow, this is chalk and cheese above what they put out.
Warner Brothers didn't learn their lesson from Superman 2. That whole situation is a complete tragedy, because if Richard Donner got to finish it, it just would have been magic. And it's sounding a little bit like that's what this is turning into, that type of situation.
Yep. So Salacious, what were your favorite parts about Justice League?
So I won't spend too much time talking about it because I don't want to give too much away. But the Whedon cut was cut so quickly. It didn't give any time to breathe. And I'm old school. I like old school movies from the 80s and late 70s where the filmmakers took their time to develop an idea rather than this fast cutting, this fast editing, whizzing through a film. And so it's 4 hours. It's 4 hours. So you've obviously got a longer time to develop a story and develop arcs. And I like long camera shots as well. I hate the who's the Force Awakens guy? Sorry, I'm having a moment.
J.J. Abrams.
I hate his fast cutting. That to me, I prefer Star Trek II Wrath of Khan cuts, long sweeping shots of ships, and Zack Snyder creates beautiful frames. And he's criticized for doing lots of slow-mo and lingering on shots, but they're beautiful shots. They are each frame is a piece of art that is a visual feast, and and plus the story was more coherent. It made sense in his cuts, whereas there were loopholes and bits in the Whedon cut that just didn't really make sense. So there you go. I won't say any more. That's the salacious commentary on it.
Yeah, it's like getting a really good novel and then just picking up the cliff notes and reading through it. That's what you got with Whedon's cut. This cut just filled it in nicely and just connected everything, I think.
Well, I'm curious, nothing. I assume that they didn't reshoot footage. Like, how did this get assembled? And going back to Superman 2, there was a lot of footage that was reshot, and they just reinserted what was originally shot and tried to rebuild from there. What did they do for Justice League?
I think they did do some reshoots, didn't they?
They did some reshoots.
And then some B-roll,
cool.
some like different B-roll footage, right?
There was a lot of there was some digital stuff too. It looked like there were a couple of
the
scenes
special
that
effects
looked
were
like
much better.
yeah, there were a couple of scenes that looked like they could have been video games, right? Like there was one scene in particular where they had some of the main characters or some of the characters, and it didn't look like they were actually there for the filming. It looked like maybe they had just recreated them in like video game footage almost, but it was a flashback type sequence. So I think I was okay with it.
There was a tonal shift, so on like for like scenes, there was a tonal shift. So the opening scene in the Whedon cut is the Wonder Woman sequence in the in London, and that had a lot of Gal Gadot bum shots, and it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think lots of people like Gal Gadot's bottom, but that's not really what Wonder Woman is about. And
exactly, it's the opposite.
In the Snyder's version, it's just a totally different tone. And the principles and the philosophy of Wonder Woman and come through, and she just shines more as a character. So they're totally different tones, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
So I think
we did it again. I would just say I think that they gave the Flash.
There, Anthony?
Yes, for some reason the mail truck just pulled up. Like I have a driveway, and it pulled down the driveway to deliver something for some reason.
17.
It would be fun if it was a toy that I'm expecting.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see what we got.
So I like that they used the Flash a little bit more in this cut too. I mean, I thought that was actually really good because that'll lead into his movie that's coming out, right?
Yeah,
hey,
Cyborg.
I just got some stuff. If I could open it live.
Yay! Yes, live unboxing with Anthony. Yes.
Oh well, I need my scalpel, which is getting handed to me. Alrighty, let's see. The first box is from Eagle Moss. So I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. So
me too.
I usually pick up.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, so I pick up select items. Usually it's the Doctor, or right now I'm trying to do the companions. So I think these are companions. So so I got the very first set of companions in the Doctor. So
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Susan and Ian and Barbara. So
dude, that's so cool.
That's all that came in this box. I know I have a couple others, but trying to work on that. And then the other box, I actually picked this up for a fellow UKer. I'm trying to figure out. Maybe you guys know. You guys all know Monster Pan Pan on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is his name Martin?
I don't know his real name.
Okay, because on Instagram, and he might be watching right now, but on Instagram, Martin, I think it's Fuller. He asked if I could pick up a bunch of accessories from Marauder Gun Rudders. So picked up a bunch of heads and like little gadgets. So this may not be as exciting as I open it, and I have no idea how they're packed. But it's just a whole bunch of stuff like bodies for customizing. So they're just customs from Marauder Gun Rudders. And then this bag has a whole host of like heads and knives and little accessories like that. So
that's cool.
So he'll be excited. Oh, here's the heads. Let me show off the heads real quick. I ordered a bunch myself. I have another set of heads coming in a few days, but here's some female heads that he's getting to customize. So that's what just right.
Vaughn's getting excited. He likes loose heads. He puts them on Hulk bodies all the time.
I ordered like $60 worth, so they'll be going on to make some custom Imperial Navy commanders and whatnot, and rebels. I have a small rebel army, believe it or not. All right, that's it.
That's awesome.
Hey, sometime on Twitter or Instagram, I'd love to see some of your Doctor Who stuff. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I remember watching it. I started watching it on PBS as a kid at my grandma's house. I remember, and then I love the modern Who as well. So I'd love to see what you have.
Yeah, some of the modern Who is magic. I'm a big Dalek collector, so I have on top of a bookshelf. I have like almost every 5-inch Dalek that they made.
Oh, dude, yeah. If you ever get a chance, put some of that up. I'd love to see your Who collection.
So
I'd walk my computer in there now, but I don't want you guys to see the rest of my place yet. In fact, actually, I have a corner in my bedroom that probably has a much better background suited for this type of thing with
that barge display is case. Sweet,
so the next time you guys have me on, I'll have a more appropriate background.
I think we like the barge. You got an awesome background.
Man, that barge is really cool.
You know what I got to do is, I'm still trying to figure out lighting. I got to darken up the walls, but I got to get an Imperial banner and put that in the back and start.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree.
and there's an artwork that says Stafford, which is in England behind you.
Stafford Hall.
What's that showing? Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm. I love this artwork from an old Genesis album, and I love that tour. So this is kind of a repo poster from that tour. I think it was like the last couple dates that they from the '76 tour.
That's cool. And do you collect any of the Star Wars ships from Eagle Moss?
I don't. Or do you mean Star Trek?
Oh, sorry, Star Trek. Sorry, yeah, Star Trek.
I want to because they're beautiful, but here's my hang up is I like scale. So I have the Art Asylum Enterprise, the movie Enterprise, just 1701. No A, no B, no C. And if I got the Eagle Moss, I would like to have Enterprise A that's in scale with the Enterprise D. And I've actually talked to those guys, and it's just impractical to do. So, but they're beautiful ships. I would consider picking them up, but again, it's all display space.
So, to go back to Justice League. So the things I did like was I did appreciate that he finished his vision. I thought that was really cool and touching, considering what he and his family went through. And I'm glad he was able to do that. I think that was really neat. The special effects were definitely improved. Superman's lip looked better. I thought the Wonder Woman scene was fantastic. I love where it was sequenced in the film, and I think she's terrific. And I did enjoy having Cyborg have an arc. I found that interesting. It probably would have made a really cool solo movie if you had the right director for that. So, but for me, like Snyder's movies they're just not for me. Like his style, the excessive slow motion, minimal dialogue, it's visually interesting, but for me, for like 4 hours, I had a really hard time. I actually was nodding off about 90 minutes in. I love that you guys enjoyed it and loved it, and I'm kind of jealous because I went in like super excited because I grew up on the original Superman movie. I love that. I love Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. So these DC comics were my childhood, and but his style of storytelling it's just not for me. It doesn't sync with me, and it doesn't make it bad. It's just the way my brain works. So I'm envious of you guys that enjoyed it for sure. But this special effects, the fight scenes, was all very cool. But it's like I said, just the style is just not for me.
Well, I think Marvel put DC at a disadvantage because Marvel is just so well thought out and laid out. It's hard to compete. So Warner Brothers is just trying to do a different thing so they're just ripping it off, and and it's a bummer that in my opinion, I think they fall short. I mean, yes, the Christopher Nolan trilogy for Batman was pretty brilliant, and the first Wonder Woman is just like amazing. It's like I get chills. I mean, it's like they
first
really
Wonder
got
Woman
it
was
right.
awesome.
Yeah. And in the other movies, it's like, you know, it just comes down to the writing, and it's like I like Zack Snyder. 300 is brilliant.
I like
Dawn of the
Sucker
Dead,
Punch.
he's great.
I love Sucker Punch.
But it's like J.J. Abrams for the sequel trilogy, and I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but it's like he's a great filmmaker, but not necessarily suited for Star Wars, and that's the same way with Zack Snyder. It's like he has a vision, but is that necessarily good for these characters that we love? You know, it's like
Well,
it's a tough call.
And I kind of put, even though their styles are different, I kind of put J.J. Abrams and Zack Snyder together in my mind, just in terms of I just don't enjoy their films. They're the way it's minimal dialogue, minimal arcs, and it's all about MacGuffins. The MacGuffin to the next MacGuffin to the next MacGuffin, and I think JJ's is even worse in terms of that. It's a lot of ideas with no thought out payoffs. But I think the other thing that the sequel trilogy for Star Wars suffered from was what Marvel does well, which is they plan out all their arcs in movies.
Exactly.
So there's little things put in. And we all know that just the sequel trilogy was not planned out. It just, each one was, you do this, each director could have their own vision, which is cool, but it was so disjointed. And then you're firing directors during production, and it was rushed. So I think Star Wars could benefit from doing a Marvel-like process and layering out, which it sounds like they're doing now, but layering out and planning out their movies. But and I know some people. I know Sean liked Rise of Skywalker, and again, I'm happy for people that liked it. But for me, like, I saw that and I'll never watch that movie again. Like, it frustrated the heck out of me. But I think I'm at a point with both these filmmakers where I've just realized I don't enjoy their movies, so I'm just not going to watch them anymore, whatever they do next.
I think also from Marvel, I think they had I don't know if it was more of a benefit to them, but they had to leave out certain properties that had been used many times before. So they had to come up with a plan to create like the Avengers, and then not have like mutants, the X-Men or Spider-Man in the beginning. So they had to think about, how are we going to use these unused properties and make a cinematic universe, where Justice League didn't have that problem, right? We've seen Superman through my whole life. There's been a Superman, right? There's been Batman movies for many, many years, and a TV show. So it's like those properties keep getting reused. Whereas maybe if they were forced to think outside of the box and use characters that weren't readily used, they would have had to think that out a little bit more. Because I mean, when the Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I didn't know who they were, honestly.
That was that was a risk. I mean, dude, that was a big risk doing that movie.
Yeah, but again, it was a fantastic story. I mean, just from the beginning, you just love Star. Well, forget that opening sequence. It's like you're almost crying. It's like it just really grabs you, So yeah, they just did it right. So.
Well, and I feel like when I look at the DC movies versus Marvel, like even just talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, what they did with Bucky and Sam, you would never see that level of detail and character arc in a DC movie. Cyborg was probably the closest I've seen, and I'll tell you that the first Wonder Woman was pretty solid with it. But in general, it's kind of like, here's a hero, you like them because they're cool. You know what I mean? And I like how Marvel has the hero portion, but then the human portion, and they drive the human portion of the story, and the hero is kind of like the highlight and the cool. It kind of like highlights it, and then they combine it together. So to me, that's something that's always missing from the DCEU movies are those character arcs, because I don't care about the characters mostly. Whereas like I said with Bucky, I went from him just being an accessory character to now I'm totally invested in his arc and to see where he goes next.
Well, Stan Sebastian is a very underrated actor. I did think after watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier that I wish they'd have given him a shot at Luke Skywalker. I really wish that I'd given him a chance, in the Mandalorian, because I think he's very good and probably hasn't been given a lot of material really to work with.
Well,
Yeah,
honestly,
I'd totally be
we are
down.
gonna
I'd
see
totally
him.
be down with him playing Luke if they do a Luke series.
Yeah, he's going to be training. He's going to train Grogu, and we're going to see Kylo Ren, that Stranger Things kid, is going to,
Oh God, no!
train with
Please don't.
Grogu,
No,
and we're going to see
no,
some
please
sort
not
of
him
Luke.
for that.
You
Well,
know
they
who I
have
thought
to
Luke
to make
was
the new
when
films
he-
That's
look
good
good.
casting, Sean. That is good casting.
I first when Luke took off his hood, I actually first thought that was Topher Grace.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing I always say that I like about us on here is one, I don't dislike Zack Snyder or J.J. Abrams I don't know them obviously clearly as humans. I don't like their art. It's not for me. But I like that it's okay that you guys like it, and it's okay that I don't like it. But to me, it's more just I like talking about like what I liked, what I didn't, hearing what you didn't, and sometimes like you guys have made points about things, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that, or you know what I mean. It's like we can share that, and I think that's important in our community because people get angry if your opinion's different, and it's totally okay for us to have different opinions. And it's even more important that we share them and don't just talk about the things we all like in common. Mm-hmm. And again, guys, it's not like there's no ill will towards a writer or director, and I wish them well in life as human beings. Their art doesn't click with me, and that's the extent of it. So I appreciate the good banter we have, and that we respect each other's opinions on these things.
Yeah, see, I felt JJ wanted to do good to Star Wars. He really did with all.
Oh, of course he did. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like again, working in the industry, I've worked with plenty of people who work for J.J. Abrams. He is so well loved. Like people are just like, oh, they love being on set with him. He creates a great atmosphere, and that goes a long way. It's part, it's like he has talent, but the fact that he just creates such a great atmosphere. That's a good part of the reason why he keeps working. And I know he's so passionate about filmmaking, and I know Snack Cider is too. It's like it oozes out, and it doesn't work. Like in all of our favorite filmmakers have stumbled, even Steven Spielberg, So
totally.
It's part of the process. We're all human.
I think J.J. Abrams is really good at capturing like the whole nostalgia of when he remakes something and bringing that. I mean, it's just some of the techniques he uses. He overuses like the lens flare a little bit. That's like the running joke, right? But I mean, for the most part, I think I've liked almost everything he's done. Yeah.
One of his best scenes was in Super 8 when the kids were making their own little movie and they're running around the army guys. Like that's pure magic right there. It's like that's good stuff.
I think out of all the things he's done, I did like the first Trek. I thought that was a good reboot, casted well, and I think the actors act well for him. Like I they do a good. Their performances are very well done. But I really, really did not like Star Trek Into Darkness. Like that. I'm
the same way.
Yeah, dude. Oh god, that and because the thing was, it was unnecessary. He had an open world, and there's no need to bastardize my favorite Star Trek movie, Wrath of Khan. The Lost series really was, to me, it was the atrocious ending. Like great, lots of ideas and MacGuffins, no payoffs. And then, with him with Star Wars, The Force Awakens was an entertaining popcorn movie, but it was a literal derivative of A New Hope. And you're starting off Star Wars new. I didn't want to see the exact same movie and story beats that I loved as a kid. I wanted something new and different. And then for me, Rise of Skywalker was just it was, to me, it is one of my least favorite movies I'd ever seen. And so for me, at that point,
scene, man, where he's in on Mustafar slaughtering all those Vaders, little minions.
It was terrible. Dude, that scene was terrible
epic,
because
I watched it like 100 times when I got it on digital.
Here we go.
But for me,
he sliced off his arm and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I wish that scene was longer.
So the action of it was cool. but I didn't know we were on Mustafar until afterwards, and I had to read about it online. So if you're on Mustafar, one, let me know you're there when I'm watching the movie, and two, why don't we go to Vader's castle and show me why you're there, what your purpose of being there is, how that connects to your arc in the movie, and then show me Vader's castle. Yeah, dude. If now we're in Vader's castle. And now I know why we're on Mustafar, but to me, that's part of the problem.
But that comes down to not enough time, like we were saying earlier. They just didn't have enough time.
Yeah, that's
to do
part of
that stuff.
But I think that's also endemic of his filmmaking, where it's stylized and you don't develop the arcs, and you have to read things to understand what's going on. It's not really spelled out. There's not proper exposition, if that makes sense. But again, it's like it's a beautiful movie, and the actors act their butts off for him. Like, the performances in all his movies are terrific. It's just the style of storytelling doesn't click with, and I've got a weird brain, so it's probably me. It's probably my fault.
Well, I mean, as long as Disney owns Star Wars, they are going to keep making the movies. And to me, I want to see what J.J. Abrams made, because that was going on an adventure, and like you said, eating popcorn, having a good time, because unfortunately Disney owns Star Wars. It's going to be that way forever now, and I'd rather see that than what we got in, say, The Last Jedi, where I walk out of the theater like, what the happened here?
Well, that's
or like the
that's
Mandalorian,
the whole point,
like
right?
somebody said earlier. The Mandalorian is where it needs to go. They need to take what we know and just build upon that.
I think they learned the lesson from the sequel trilogy. It seems like they've learned the lesson, and they're correcting, what got them to that point. And the unfortunate thing is Rogue One and Solo were my two favorite movies of the Disney era, and they did not get treated properly because of the rush sequel trilogy. And
they were both.
I think those were
movies.
Good movies. Yeah, those are like Solo is I love Solo. And Rogue One is excellent too. So those movies did not get the credit they deserve for being good movies. So I think they're on the right path. And obviously Mando is great, and it's pretty much universally loved. To me, and this is more so this is more of a fun thought exercise. I would have liked to see the sequel trilogy start off in the Jedi Temple with Luke as the Jedi Master, and you have a couple other Jedi Masters with him. And then maybe Ahsoka's there or what have you. And then you see Ben as a Padawan. And then you have other Padawans that are with Ben. And then you see Ben's relationship with his parents. And you see Ben starting to mistrust Luke. And then you layer it and show his arc. And you show why he turns to the dark side, because of his relationship with his dad, because of how maybe Luke treated him. And then because Snoke is twisting his mind, right? So you watch that, you see his fall to the dark side to where you understand why he made that decision. And then you watch him turn. And then the second movie, and then, you could have still introduced Rey there. But I think that was such a miss, because as soon as Kylo Ren was on screen, you're like, he's cool. That lightsaber's cool. He could stop a laser. But who are you and why do I care?
But they just didn't do it.
So, and so cooler. And then you can introduce Rey as another darkness, light, darkness, rise, whatever Snoke says, right? So you introduce Rey, but you have her truly as someone who all of a sudden magically can't use every force power to Obi-Wan's ability, in 2 hours later in a movie, right? But you could have it to where she does one thing. Like, just something happens and the force channels her, and she does one thing that saves everyone, gets them out of the situation, and she doesn't even know how she does it. Like, that would have been believable and bought you in. And then then the next episode is Luke training her and what remains of the Jedi Order, picking it up. And then because then you understand, you could watch Luke fail. If that was the arc they wanted to take, you could see how Luke failed and then how it affects him. But then you get to watch the character arc of how he redeems himself in his own eyes at that point, right? So we're bought into the characters, we're bought into their arcs. So again, to me, that's just more of a mental exercise to talk about that. But I think that I would have liked to see that better than what we got.
We are going to see
what do you guys?
That. That's why we saw Snoke in those tanks in The Mandalorian, because that's what the story is heading towards. We are definitely going to see Luke and Grogu. I guarantee it. They know that's what everybody is going to want to watch it on the planet. If they release that in the theater next month, the theaters would be packed even with COVID, because everybody wants to see it. I don't know if that's true or not, but It's coming, man.
So there's
exactly.
So Tina has a good question. She goes, "What do you guys think about the alternate universe theory?" And it doesn't seem like Disney's going to do that, but if they did, I clearly would love that. And then
I don't think
and then
so.
they use the Mando to build and retell the story because
exactly.
Ultimately,
just
I think
like
the thing
said, they just screwed
I think
Rey
the
up.
thing. Yeah. Oh God,
They
Rey
can't fix
Nobody
that.
was great. Rey Nobody was awesome. Like she did not have to be the child
Palpatine
of
is kinda cool.
Palpatine's clone. Like Rey, like what a cool thing is that you don't have to be the daughter or son of somebody to matter in the story. And
You could be
that was
anybody.
one of the that was one of the things I liked about Last Jedi. I did not like the portrayal of Luke, but I blame that on JJ for putting him on an island with no dialogue. Where else could Ryan go?
Well, they also cut out the best scene with Luke, which was at that third lesson or whatever with the island natives. It's like that belonged in the movie. That totally.
I know.
About a bunch
Absolutely.
Of
yep. Yeah, but it was hard to see Luke like that without full context. And again, there's a lot that I liked about Last Jedi. I think it was the best made movie of the three. And I liked more of it that I didn't, but the things I didn't, it was, I didn't agree with a lot of what they did, but I thought it was well thought out and executed, if that makes sense.
Well, actually, I'll actually say it was well thought out, but I don't think it was executed well because I think a lot of those beats, like Luke, I think it's the interesting and right idea, and it makes sense in a storytelling type of way to have this character fall from grace, but it's just the way they portrayed it. I don't think the execution came out well. And in the beginning, like Poe's stuff, being kind of like going against orders, like that is the exact right beat for the story. It's just the way it all got pulled off. It just lost me. It's like it's right in intuition, but just poorly portrayed. I think.
Well,
that's
and to that point, one of the most cringe-worthy moments in all of Star Wars is you have all those bombers that are exploded, all these starfighters dead. And then they finally release the bombs on top of I forget the name of the ship, right?
Right.
And then they cut to whatever actress it was, and she goes, "Bombs away," and I'm like, man, that is a somber scene. They just got wiped out. Leia's pissed, and it's such I felt like it was like the cheesiest one-liner. And it should have been that was not the right note there. Totally. Every time I watch that, and I don't watch anymore, but I've seen it a few times, but it pulls me right out of the movie. So, I mean, there were several things like that were just,
it's
not executed well.
Joke.
Hugs and hucks. That was just I learned my lesson from a short film that I made where it's sort of like we're agonizing over a line of dialogue and it's like we had to cut it because we realized that the audience, it's sort of like it was a little ambiguous. It wasn't delivered right. And the audience is going to have to work too hard toward it. And it wasn't until I saw Last Jedi at home that I realized, oh, he's saying hugs. Now I get the joke. It's a dumb joke, but when I saw it twice in the theater, I didn't get it because it's too much like Hux. It's like that was talk about getting pulled out. So no offense to anyone who likes the movie because it's a really good movie. I just don't think it's a good Star Wars movie.
Dude, if it wasn't a Star Wars movie, I agree. It probably would be a good movie. But again, it just goes back to not being planned out because I would like to think when you're creating a movie and you're like, hey, we're going to have the original cast back, but Luke Skywalker isn't going to be in this movie except for the last minute and he won't have a line. I mean, there had to be one person there to be excuse me.
That's a hook, though. That's the thing, though. It's like, what a great way to start a movie. Luke Skywalker is missing. That is a great hook, But
it is a great. Okay, that's fair.
Then how you execute the rest. That's
it's a great hook. It's a great hook, but you made Luke Skywalker a MacGuffin by doing that. And I just, again, again, like I'm saying, like my mental exercise when I like to think about it is you started off in the Jedi Temple and we get to see Jedi Master Luke, our hero, right, from all these years. I mean, we've wanted to see Luke fully powered as a Jedi Master, right, and teaching Padawans. It's 30 years later. You know, we get to see his the Jedi Academy or whatever you want to call it, and man, it was such a miss to not start there.
All right, so maybe we should move on to our next subject here.
we could probably talk for the next 3 hours about fine storytelling technique.
Okay. Not quite Fan First Friday, but we can briefly talk about this week's Black Series drop that they talked about. Did you guys pre-order anything from those, or the Walmart exclusives too? We got the Walmart exclusives, TBC, and we also got those non-canon characters. Jackson.
I only
who else did we get?
Yeah, I only pre-ordered the Jackson and the Maul. And one of the reasons I didn't do the Luke is because of what I was showing you earlier. I just took the Dagobah Luke and I took them out and I painted them today. So, you know, I'm not going to spend $25 just to have the character that he comes with. And I was looking at I don't know, you guys seen my video I did where I pulled the cape off of the Imperial.
I had no idea that was underneath. You blew my mind.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take my extra one.
Pretty cool.
I have two, and I haven't opened either of them.
Yeah, I'll just take the extra one and paint them, and then I'll fix up the cape so it looks just like it. If I really want that figure, I'll take the staff from one of the Praetorian guards or whatever from the that other movie we were just talking about. And
are we Voldemorting it now? We can't say it. The movie that
I don't want to go back. Yeah, I don't want to go back. But here's my problem with this Luke, right? Okay, so they sold it to us in a pack with a Yoda, then they sold it to us individually, and now they want to repaint it and sell it to us again.
Yeah,
I agree. I just have a problem with that.
Dude, I 100% agree with you.
They could have put sleeves on and given them a robe, like the black hooded cape. That would have been awesome.
I totally agree with you. And I had the debate myself of whether or not I was going to buy that one. And one, it came down to I'm just kind of a sucker for Luke's. But the other portion is I like the box it comes in. So for me, I'm not going to open it. I'm going to keep that in box, and I want to display that. Like that's really cool. And I read those comics years ago when they came out. So I love that they're doing comic figures. So they suckered me in. But if it just had a normal like Black Series box, the new style, I wouldn't have done it. But that's what got me was that neat box. Yeah, that was cool. But I ordered 2 Mauls because I don't have a Maul yet. So now I get to have them all, and I'm going to have one to go out of box. So then the question is he fighting Kenobi or Ahsoka, even though it's the wrong Maul because he's shirtless, but it's still Maul. And then I did grab Jixon, and then I'm forgetting the other guy's name now. But I got all those, one of each for sure.
It's okay that you forgot the name because Hasbro didn't even know the name.
I know, and that's why, dude. I still got that post-COVID headache, brain fog. It's bad.
It's Karen or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be, right?
That's the only one that I pre-ordered.
You got that one too?
Yeah. Nice.
So what made you grab that one, not all of them?
Why? Because it's an Imperial.
Exactly.
I got it.
It says right here on the screen. Imperial.
No, I got it. That was a stupid question.
It's like the Royal Guards are cool, and I just love those characters. They're 3 3/4 inch, so they're a part of my official army.
Ooh, Gilster just had a great question. I don't know.
Yeah, and thanks for the super chat, Gilster. Appreciate that.
Dude, you know what I'd love in a Black Series is I want Tatooine Anakin from Attack of the Clones. I would love to have that figure. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think.
And a Watto. Yeah, how about a Watto Young Anakin 2-pack for like $30? Because they're both be small. Give Watto like a little stand so he could float, and then you have a young Anakin, and then make it a 3-pack and have naked C-3PO.
Yeah, I want. Anakin's
I would love that.
Racer, vintage collection.
I know you
Black
do.
Series, I'll take it.
that's your magical holy grail is that pod racer. I'd love that too.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, and you know what? They could be thinking about a 2-pack or convention exclusive, because if we think about the way releases are going, they weren't sure whether or not there was going to be a Comic-Con in July this year. So, and they're still talking about doing a live convention in November. So it's possible that they're not telling us something that potentially they want to have as a convention exclusive.
Very cool.
Or
So
convention reveal.
Comic-Con,
Yeah.
so Comic-Con, they are planning on doing it, but just in the fall.
So I got an email that said the convention was going to be virtual in July, but they were hopeful that they might be able to do an in-person one in November. Did you get that one, Anthony?
I didn't.
That email? Yeah. I think because I had tickets from last year, I carried them over, so I got that an email
I did
from
too.
them.
So for some reason, maybe they're getting caught in my spam or something. I got the Comic-Con museum emails, which I kind of just glance over. I don't know if they're in there, but yeah, don't recall getting a notification.
Yeah, they sent a thing out saying definitely going to be virtual in July, but they were hopeful for potentially November. And I think it's all just going to be how well the vaccination and stuff goes, right? Like those percentages get really high, the numbers go really low. I mean, because amusement parks are going to open up here at the end of the month. So
yeah.
And
then Black Widow comes
April,
out at the end of May.
Vern, where are you?
Right. San Diego.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought you were East Coast for some reason.
Nope. Right in the neighborhood.
You and Sean are going to have to do a road trip and hang out.
Yep. I'm 3 hours away. Totally. So. And you know who else can come is Paul. He can come down and pick me up on the way. Paul's Collectibles, because he's up in Phoenix. Cool. So,
all right, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go. So I just want to say goodbye to everybody.
Later, buddy.
And it was fun hanging out. All right.
Yeah, sincerely.
Take care, you guys.
Nice seeing you guys in person.
All right.
See you, Vern. See you, Vern.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe
so we're 2 hours.
A little bit and do that opening.
Yeah, we're 2 hours in now, Sean. So
okay. You guys want to do the opening or skip it?
I've already done mine, so I'll just quickly show you if those that haven't seen it. This is a 6-inch Black Series Tebow.
Oops. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. I booted him. There we go.
You're kicking me out, Sean. You're kicking me out. It's not on. It's not on. Monkey lizard rights. So here's Tebow. He's a cool looking dude.
Really is.
The articulation on these is absolutely phenomenal. Waists, knees, ball joints on the feet, absolutely brilliant. And look at the detail. He's a cute little murder bear. So I hope they do more. I hope they do more Ewoks. We are pro Ewok in the Monkey Lizard Lair. So there you go. I've already unboxed him. So there he is, Tebow.
All right, let's throw the dude up here. I'll start opening mine in the background. Oh,
all right. So we are not going to do Shatterstar. We're going to go with the Groots. So for those of you that I can't. I'm not ready for Shatterstar yet. Someday. Let's check out these Groots. Ooh.
Oh, you're going for it for the plastic this week.
Yeah, we're making sure everybody gets it. All right, guys. So here's little dance here. Get my I don't know which way is easy. If I do that, there we go.
He's cute.
That's so cool.
That's very cool.
And then you have the dancing Groot from the opening scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Look at that.
Tiny.
Yeah, he's so epic.
And then here, just for a little scale fun, you can just see how big they are.
No way.
Next to each other. And then Groot actually does not come with legs on him, so it's kind of like a Build-A-Figure. So I'll mess with that later. But he is, wow, dude. That is so detailed.
Yeah.
Check out that sculpt, the body sculpt, head sculpt. He's got his shoulders come all the way out. He's got a ball joint in the middle, so good swivel. Shoulders come all the way out. That's a cool character. And what I like about this is you could throw this in with your comic book as well as your MCU figures. It could cross between them.
Yeah,
Very, very cool.
that's an awesome fig.
Yeah, I just
Yay.
opened mine this week too. I love him, and he looks so sweet on display next to other figures. You can put anybody around him. Like I have Scarlet Witch and
Look at that.
X-23, and he just looks so sick, man.
I love that he's smiling. It just is. This expression reminds me of End of Guardians 1, where he takes all the bad guys and he basically guts them and then throws them back and forth along the hallway, and he just turns back and smiles. Looks like the exact same expression. That's awesome. All right, let's see what you guys got.
All right, I'm just gonna throw. I've already opened her up to save you guys some time, but there's Kira, and of course we all wish the one with the red cloak. What outfit is that called that she's wearing in Solo, where she walks out of the Millennium Falcon?
Well, it's Lando's cloak, isn't it? So she's pinched it from. She had a bit of a smooch with Han, didn't she?
Cool.
In Lando's cloakroom cupboard.
Yeah, so I'd call that like her Kessel Run outfit, but I definitely would have liked. I agree that they should make a figure of her in that outfit instead of the Carillion
really
one.
Good, man. Pretty.
It's a good. It's good face sculpt of her too. It's not. I mean, that's pretty reasonable.
But that was brief and short. Anything else we want to add? Normally we have a little bit more fun, Anthony, than that.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. Next time I'll come prepared.
You've been awesome, dude. You've been awesome. It's been amazing. We're very lucky that you agreed to join us. So we hope that you come back. You agreed to come back another time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
do.
appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. It just worked out just with my job schedule. Sean messaged me yesterday and was like, "Yeah, I think it works out." So.
Is there anything you want to plug, Anthony? Is there any projects or anything that you want to plug, or any social media?
Is there anybody
that you want to
can post his channel in the? I don't know if there's any moderators.
Yep, I'll post it again right now.
You know, anyone else I really want to plug, I'll think about it as soon as Sean hits end. But yeah, it's like, look, I appreciate anybody who watches any of my videos and subscribes to my YouTube channel, the Imperial Communique. I'm very flattered. And I appreciate feedback. I get a lot of lovely feedback. So thank you, everybody, and everybody in the chat too. I didn't get to say hi to Gilster or in Smuggler's Canyon officially. So, and all the new people that I'm meeting, like Tina. Thank you guys a lot. I have a newer Instagram account, also the Imperial Communique, and then on Twitter, same thing, the Imperial Com. Tez was mentioning earlier my guest movie, which I appreciate everybody's missing. I need to sit down and put a little time and do some more photos. But like I said, I've done a lot of movies. I've done over almost 250 movies. And, after a certain point, the iconic movies start kind of getting repetitive. So, always trying to do a new twist. So, man, that's it. I mean, it's like, you guys all have great channels. I mean, Sean, geez, I think you and I started about the same time. You're just exploding, and just love how flashy your stuff is. And Rum, man, it's like, it's just such a joy when I scroll through on Instagram and seeing your new posts, your new videos. Like it always puts a smile on my face, because everybody has just such a style and a love of what they're doing. Everybody's found their niche, you too, dude. so yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's great that we all support each other too. It's like, I appreciate the plugs, and whenever I can, try to plug everybody else too. So, and I'm very impressed. I'm really jealous. Vern does some really great stop motion himself. I'm jealous.
For sure. Yeah, for sure he does.
Yeah, it's like dude says every week, our community is just absolutely amazing. We can disagree on the movies like we were talking about earlier, but in the end, we're all passionate about what we're doing. and that's what it's all about. And that's how we stumbled into each other, because we all love Star Wars and action figures, you know. So
brilliant.
now, also,
So,
I know you're a big Ray Clash of the Titans. What's his name? Ray Harrison or something like that.
Ray Harryhausen. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan too, because that was such a childhood thing for me when I was. When did Clash of the Titans come out? When I was probably about 8 years old. But
it was in the early 80s.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, you know, I want to know where you got your skeletons from, and can I still get those?
It was Revolt Tech. I was going to tell Vern. I mean, that's and I got to give credit to Michelle on Twitter, and then she's Assault Dalek on Instagram. Her photography is just wonderful, and she just has these great stuff. And I got the skeleton because of her, and then I just picked up Dave Bowman from 2001, just because they're just beautiful figures. So, and
can you get doing a service by displaying them?
I haven't seen. No, I don't know if we'll get a Medusa. Did I see one? I can't remember, because they come with a booklet with a lot of imagery. I just don't recall, but a Medusa would be pretty neat.
Yeah, and also I really want to binge watch like Sinbad. I know he was involved in some of those. What would you recommend?
He did. I think he did both of them. I just watched a documentary. He did Golden. He did the Golden Voyage in the Seventh Voyage in the Golden. Flaking on the name of the sequel, but he did both of them. He also did Mysterious Island. Great stuff in there. A great interpretation of the book. What else? And of course, Jason the Argonauts. I mean, geez.
Oh yeah,
that's just like that's
I need
just.
To see that too.
Oh man, I haven't seen it in years, but I just love that movie through and through.
Yeah. So I guess I have to buy him on Vudu, because I can't see him for free anywhere. None on Netflix or nothing like that.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago I was like, I got to see Clash, or not Clash, Jason and Argonauts again, but I couldn't find it right away, and then I was like, got busy.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge
they have
fan
collections.
We do have a lot in common.
Yeah, they have Ray Harryhausen collections, and probably worth it for both of us to pick them up.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys?
Just to say that this show is also going out in audio format, so there's a podcast format. So if you have Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, any of the major podcatchers, please do a search for Three Men and a Monkey Lizard. A search using the number 3, and we're higher up on that list. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing or following us, or even if any of you do use Apple Podcasts, if you're leaving us a 5-star review, would pump us up the chart pretty quickly. So it'd be amazing if you could do that. Please subscribe to all of our channels. Hit the like button if you haven't, because I think this show has got to be worth a like. And turn your notifications on to all of our channels so that you get notified when we release our
And
next
also,
video.
this is episode 11, guys. And so we do have other episodes on all of our channels, except for Anthony's, which maybe that'll change one day. Never know.
So that leaves us really to say thank you to everyone in the chats. Too many people to name, but you all know who you are. We love you. You're an amazing community. Thank you ever so much. Thank you to Dude's Nerdery, Sean Solo, Vern from Oakhurst, and our special guest today, the incredible Imperial Communique. Thank you ever so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really honored.
Yeah, dude, thanks for hanging out, man. I love hearing about, it's just so I can't even pick. There's so many cool things, man. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
All right. We'll hope to do it again.
And that leaves me to say one final thing, Sean.
Yes.
Remember, everyone, monkey lizards, they're for life, not for spit roasting. Goodbye.
All right, buddy.